Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
An indoor wedding reception with more than 100 people linked to an outbreak of COVID cases downriver.
A Metro Detroiter returning from a tropical vacation captures a tense scene involving a Delta passenger who refused to follow mask rules.
But first, an update on the breaking news we've been following these last 2 hours. People being told to evacuate because of this, a chemical fire burning at an industrial building in Rockwood.
It's happening at the R.J. Marshall Company. People that live on Huron River Drive between Lamont and Truman are being urged to leave. The chemical burning is used to make countertops. There is a hazmat crew on the scene testing the air quality. One firefighter has already been taken to the hospital for heat exhaustion. We don't know yet what caused the fire.
A local man is sharing the story and the video he took of a dramatic scene on board a Delta flight.
The tense scene involving a man not following mask rules played out over several minutes before the flight was set to depart Aruba.
Victor Williams live with more on what happened. Victor, you can see the looks on the other passengers' faces. This was really uncomfortable for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's right, Devin and Kimberly. The man who captured all this, he calls this an ugly American moment that happened overseas. Of course, even though flying through the pandemic is already hard enough, it looked like one passenger made it a little bit harder.
It was shameful behavior.
Todd Benson and his family witnessed turbulence before their flight could even take off from Aruba to Atlanta.
He was yelling, "I have it on, I have it on." And he was talking about his mask. The Delta flight attendant was requesting that he put it on properly.
Apparently, this man was kicked off the plane following a meltdown, all over being asked to correct his mask.
Moments later, he's threatening her. "I'm going to beat you up," or something along that lines. And I thought that was completely inappropriate. He was saying that he was going to somehow get her fired.
After trying to talk to the pilot and returning to his seat.
As he was leaving, the most graphic language that you could possibly imagine just came spewing out of his mouth. And I wish we all could have just covered our ears.
Benson says the outrageous behavior continued, this time towards other passengers. As he's escorted out, other passengers rejoice.
Now, Delta didn't have much to say about the incident in a statement that they sent to Local 4, which reads, a customer was escorted off of a Delta flight 654 operating from Aruba to Atlanta by security personnel after refusing to wear a mask on board the aircraft. In compliance with Delta's mask-wearing requirements, the flight departed safely for Atlanta without further incident. As far as what happened to that passenger who was taken off the plane, we're not sure. He might still be in Aruba. Reporting live tonight, Victor Williams, Local 4.
Coming several times a day, these kinds of incidents. All right, Victor.
Today's coronavirus numbers from the state look alarming at first, but context here is important.
The state adding 996 new cases to its total, but 300 of those are from older lab results. That still means, though, there are nearly 700 new cases over the past 24 hours.
Michigan is also reporting 2 additional deaths from COVID-19. A popular downriver banquet hall is the latest business singled out as a COVID hotspot. The Crystal Gardens of Southgate is reportedly the source of 5 COVID cases, and that has certainly gotten the attention of the Wayne County Health Department. Local 4 business editor Rod Maloney is live tonight with the story. And Rod, correct me if I'm wrong, the rule is 10 people allowed at indoor gatherings, right?
That is correct. It's not what happened here according to the Wayne County Health Department. But here's what we know about the 5 people who tested positive from this wedding. That's what the health department is saying. 5 of them, they're all women. 1 is in the hospital, at least 1 is in the hospital. They range in age between 25 and 55. But I will tell you this, after hearing late this afternoon from the ownership here, the ownership is remaining defiant about this entire situation, considering the press release that was put out by the Wayne County Health Department. They unlocked the doors, didn't return phone calls at the Crystal Gardens today. Not anxious to talk about the Wayne County Health Department's claim it traced 5 COVID cases to a wedding reception here Saturday, July 18th. A reception the department claims illegally and improperly ballooned in attendance to more than 100 people. The department's saying in a statement this afternoon, quote, businesses must be intentional about following the rules to limit the spread of COVID-19 and save lives. On June 1st, Governor Gretchen Whitmer issued Executive Order 2020-110. This order limits attendance to no more than 10 people indoors and 100 people outdoors. This event was in direct violation of the order, with an attendance exceeding the imposed limit for the number of people indoors. Most Michigan businesses want to get back up and running, and the Crystal Gardens billboard makes it clear that ownership is trying its level best to get there, with a Rocky Horror drive-in night and promising a facility that can hold 250. But we received a phone call from a spokesperson late this afternoon who tells Local 4 the wedding there only went 3 hours Saturday the 18th. There was no partying or dancing, and social distancing was enforced. The ownership is saying it sees no difference between what it did that Saturday and what goes on in restaurants all across Michigan. And while the ownership is sad to see anyone get sick, considering the time frame, it's speculative to say that these cases emanated from the wedding. However, the health department is saying it wants to speak to everyone who was at that party. They're saying it was at least 100 people at this wedding, and that they want to hear from them. They want people to call in because they have much more contact tracing to do. Back to you.
Rod, what did the health department have to say then about the Crystal Gardens position?
Well, I asked them, when they were saying that the health department said, look, they violated the law. They violated the governor's order, and 10 people is it. So when you've got over 100, that is a problem no matter how you cut it.
Yeah.
And so we'll see where this all goes, because there's probably much more to come.
Sure. Okay, Rod, thanks.
Well, let's take a look now at the forecast. Ben has been tracking thunderstorms rolling through some areas right now.
Yeah, Ben, what's the latest here?
We've got a couple out there, guys, but this is going to be close to the last that we see as that cold front is starting to clear the area. So a couple more lucky folks got some downpours. A few lightning strikes there downriver and also out of the Grosse Pointes as this is all moving east. And then behind that, we have a whole lot of nothing. There's still a little bit of activity up around Saginaw Bay. So we'll watch that little outflow boundary to see if it triggers anything. But all of that is north of the front, so there's a lot less instability to work with there. Otherwise, temperatures as we go forward tonight are going into the 70s, but that humidity is still going to stay with us. We'll see it gradually decrease tonight. And again, the last of those sprinkles should be out of here before the sun goes down this evening. Coming up, we'll talk about better chances of rain for the weekend, some lower humidity, and whether or not we see the 70s for highs. You can get a sneak peek at the 10-day forecast on the Local Forecasters app. It's free in your app store by searching WDIV. Guys?
Okay, Ben. We're getting a better idea today of what Operation Legend, the White House initiative to curb gun violence in some cities, will mean for Detroit.
City is getting 44 ATF agents and 12 FBI agents, some with permanent jobs. Some of those jobs are temporary. Local law enforcement will get about $1 million in federal grants to address gang and gun violence, and $100,000 for gunshot detection technology, which is called ShotSpotter. Officials say they're targeting gun violence on Detroit's west side in the 2nd, 6th, 8th, and 12th precincts. Defender Sean Lay has been speaking with someone who knows the consequences of that gun violence all too well. Sean?
Absolutely. You did a great job there letting everyone know what this operation is all about, what it's going to look like on the streets going after those guns, those gangs, and trying to tamp down on the violent crime that we're seeing. But the Fed's also putting a lot of money behind where the action is here in the name of a 4-year-old little boy.
What is happening on the streets of Detroit has to end.
The Feds flooding Detroit to stop what they call a flood of deadly gun violence. In many cases, kids getting caught in the crossfire. Nathaniel Thompson Jr. was only 4 years old when on May 21st at his grandmother's home, her home was sprayed with gunfire. Nathaniel was known as Messiah.
As Messiah was walking from the kitchen to the living room, simply eating a snack, he was killed as bullets riddled the home in a drive-by shooting.
While protesters right outside say no to federal help and want Detroit police to stand down and not pursue violent offenders, Nathaniel's mom was at today's announcement with a different view.
I just want to really say thank you, and I really appreciate everybody, and hopefully someone will come up and step forward, not only for Nathaniel, but Little Legion too, and hopefully for every other baby and any other kid that was murdered by a senseless person.
So today, I am announcing a $25,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of individuals responsible for the senseless May 2020 murder of 4-year-old Nathaniel Messiah Townsend.
Back here live. So a $25,000 reward being offered up by the FBI. The U.S. Attorney making it clear this is all about targeting violent crime in the city of Detroit, and it has nothing to do with the protests in the city of Detroit. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4.
All right, Sean. Well, let's look at some of the latest coronavirus research. A study finds COVID-19 may increase the risk of blood clots in women who are pregnant, taking birth control, or using hormone replacement therapy.
Blood clots are one of the many potential complications of COVID-19. Estrogen also increases the risk of blood clots during pregnancy and in women taking birth control pills or hormone replacement therapy. Researchers say if also infected with COVID-19, the risk could be even higher. And some women may need treatment or to discontinue their estrogen medications.
There's more evidence the coronavirus may have a lasting impact on a survivor's heart. German researchers looked at 100 patients who had recently recovered from COVID-19, and they found 78% of them had evidence of heart damage on their MRI. 60% still had ongoing inflammation within the heart muscle. The scientists say all of the patients were relatively healthy before they contracted the virus.
A new study suggests people are less likely to touch their face if they are wearing a mask. Researchers looked at videos showing nearly 7,600 people in various public settings in numerous countries, including the U.S. The videos were recorded both before and after the pandemic. They found people who wore face masks were actually less likely to touch their face, especially their eyes, nose, and mouth.
All right, head first here at 6, the list of America's safest cities. We'll have the local community that's landed in the top 10.
We'll have that coming up, and here's Hank.
Next summer's auto show may be bigger than ever, all because of one major convention that's scrapping plans and maybe moving to the Motor City. I'm Hank Winchester.